It looks really good. Tomorrow looking a little bit better than we had maybe planned on as we were making our way through the week as far as storm chances go. And then this weekend is really good. Yeah,
this weekend looks fantastic. Tomorrow, definitely a day to pay attention just because it's springtime in Texas. We have that, set up. All the ingredients are trying to come together, but they're just, at least on the models, not quite coming together. But again, springtime in Texas, always pay attention. But otherwise, it actually looks really nice tomorrow, just kind of warm. And this is the area we're watching. It does include all of North Texas. And I do want to mention that the Storm Prediction Center has removed North Texas from this slight risk that it originally had us under yesterday. Basically, what that means is that the threat for storms has lowered. The cap is actually looking pretty strong, and that's what's going to limit any storm development for tomorrow. And if any of these storms develop, they could produce hail and some gusty winds. So that's what we'll be watching for that dry line. And I'll show you that. Here's the rough timeline. So I'm going to actually stop this Friday morning, because some moisture along our far southern counties, if you're in Stephenville, Brownwood, towards Hamilton, maybe even the Hill Country, that's where we could see some added moisture, maybe a scattered shower or two. Most of us are going to stay dry. I'm going to fast forward this to Friday, 2 in the afternoon. And this is just one model trying to bring in some storm development, but these are really struggling tomorrow afternoon. And this again ahead of that dry line that we'll be watching. This is around 3. The coverage looks about the same, only about a 10, maybe 20% for the afternoon. Again, most of us will stay dry. This is around 4 in the afternoon. We could see some development, but again, staying really minimal with our coverage. This is about 5. This is about 6. Once the evening settles down, a lot of this activity is also going to wind down since we're losing a lot of energy. But as this dry line retreats, we could see an isolated storm popping up along maybe Eastland County there, way out to our western counties. But activity really looking to wind down into the overnight hours. Now, Saturday comes, and that's when we're expecting our front to come in. Our front looks slower than it did yesterday, and this is what it means for you. Saturday at 7. We're going to see maybe some cloud cover early on. It clears out pretty quick, though. As this front approaches about 11, 12, we're going to see a move across the Metroplex between noon and about 3 in the afternoon. Our winds are going to pick up, drier air comes in, and as it moves into East Texas around 5, 6 in the afternoon, it'll spark up some showers and storms, and that's where we have the threat for severe weather returning. Again, this is for East Texas, does not include North Texas, marginal to slight risk there ahead of that cold front. This is what it looks like outside right now. Dallas, 78 degrees. If you do have any evening plans, it's not looking bad. We'll just see a mix of cloud cover and clear skies out with winds out of the south at about 5 to 10. Picking up, though, overnight. The cloud cover that's in our eastern counties, really interesting what's going on. We actually have an area of low pressure over Mississippi. That's helping bring in rain there, and there's a front that extends all the way into Florida that is responsible for bringing in some heavy rain there. But meanwhile, we're looking at some cloud cover along our eastern counties, and that's really about it. That's where our temperatures are in the mid 70s, but 80s across our far western counties where air is slightly drier. Any evening plans? Temperatures will stay in the mid 70s at least through about 9, but overnight only to about 60 degrees by the morning. And the reason why it's not as cool tomorrow morning is because an influx of moisture coming in. It's going to feel a little bit more humid on Friday because of the south wind picking up and helping bring in a little bit more of that Gulf moisture. So overnight lows likely just staying in the low 60s for most across the Metroplex, maybe a little warmer across our western counties. And we're looking at tomorrow high temperatures, pretty warm. Warmest day of the week, 83 possible in Fort Worth, 81 in Dallas, near 90 degrees for some of our western counties and into the low 80s here in our eastern counties. So that front, like I mentioned, it's slowing down. I think we still make it into the mid 80s on Saturday. Cooler air filters in on Sunday behind that front. We are looking at drier conditions. Afterwards, too, our dew point or measure of moisture goes up Friday and Saturday, but drop significantly on Sunday thanks to that drier air moving in. 60 degrees tonight, mild, dry, breezy. Tomorrow, a high near 81 degrees. Coverage again with rain really minimal. Only about a 20%, that 10-day. Looking pretty dry Saturday and Sunday, even Monday of next week as the temperature climbs right back to the 80s. Look at next week, 80s with a rain chance Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then again next weekend. As of now, that could change.
It's that time of year when the temperature gets pushed down and it lasts for like a day or two, and then we start springing back.
Yeah, those fronts don't last very long.